Okay, hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to our demo by MyConversationTrainer. My name is Lillian Jones and I am the chair this year for the CALICO AI Special Interest Group. And our event today, our virtual event today, is this wonderful demo. We also have a couple of our CALICO SIG leadership folks here as well. I saw Angel sneak into the room as well. He's on the SIG leadership team as well. So thanks for being here. Thank you everybody for joining us for our demo. And nice, thanks, Phil. So without further ado, that's what I have for you all to welcome. We are recording this call. So if at any time your call drops or you need to head out early, I'll go ahead and send the recording to all registered participants after it is done processing. So today we have Dr. Antonio Pérez-Núñez, who is an associate professor in the Department of Hispanic Studies at the College of Charleston in South Carolina. He earned his PhD in Spanish linguistics with a concentration in second language acquisition and teacher education from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So I don't want to steal too much of what he's going to say, so I'll go ahead and pass it over to our guest. And thank you so much for coming, Antonio, and for sharing this wonderful work that you're doing with us all today.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you, Lillian, for giving me the opportunity to share the work that I've been doing with other very with a team of great software engineers, where we put together this platform, and that I'm very happy to share with you all. And yeah, as you said, yeah, I did my PhD at the University of Illinois in second language acquisition and Spanish linguistics. And since I was little, there were like two passions, two things that I really loved, and one was computers and technology, and the other languages. So, a couple of years ago, with the advent of ChatGPT, I started to work with that, and I was very excited because I knew from the very beginning that that would be something that would change, the landscape, the educational landscape. And ever since, I've been doing some research, and I published a couple of articles that I welcome you all to take a look at. And also during this time, I was looking at, okay, what are the ways that we can use generative AI to enhance and support what we do in the classroom, and instead of replace us. Because I remember, at the beginning there was always, and still, okay, is this going to replace us? And what I wanted to do was to find ways in which, we can use it and take control of it and stuff. Because there, you're going to see MyConversationTrainer. There are a lot of, chat-based platforms where you can interact and practice the language. But this one, I wanted to give us teachers, instructors, the control, be at the driver's seat. And so in this presentation demo, yeah, these are the points of I want to go over. First, the reason why I decided to create MyConversationTrainer, looking at some of the challenges in world language teaching, an overview of MyConversationTrainer, and I will demo and show you how the instructor area works, the student area, and also there's the student progress area. And as a researcher, when I was designing and developing this platform, I wanted to be research-based. If I was, doing something, for everyone, I want to be something that I can say, okay, here's the data, and look at this. You can, it's it can help students, and it can help us, to develop our language skills, and some ideas for best practices if we have time. And then I want, if you think that that this platform and this tool can help you, with your teaching and with the learning of your students, which I think you should believe so. I want to welcome you all to to use a free trial and use it in your classes this semester, if you want to, and I would be happy to help you, set up your account and everything. So yeah, speaking of the challenges, right? In world language teaching, which I don't know if you all have the opportunity to be at the presentation by Professor Chappell, and where like a lot of people were asking her, okay, about the potential of generative AI, and they were talking about the potential, and some of them were okay, like practice, feedback, and so on and so forth. And with this platform, I wanted to like put in like all that potential to like make it real for us, and looking at some of the challenges in that we face in the classroom. And one is the limited opportunities for students to develop their speaking and listening skills outside the classroom, and especially in the lower levels. And as we know, like students usually when they're learning, they feel anxious and to speak in front of others. And with generative AI, we can create, and with this platform, an environment for them to practice and gain confidence. And another thing that we know that generative AI can do is to provide immediate personalized feedback. So I wanted to put all this together to in a way that would involve a pedagogically sound integration of AI in the language classroom. So instead of being just an app or something that you download as a individual to like practice, like let's say Duolingo, this is more like a platform for teachers to use in their classes. So yeah, so basically, my conversation trainer is the first AI-powered platform designed for Spanish language teachers and programs to use all these capabilities of Gen AI. What in the presentation with Professor Chappell, like they were talking about the potential, the possibilities. And this include unlimited real-time conversational practice, feedback, teacher support as well, like the possibility of automatic grading, feedback. And in this case, compared to other platforms for conversation practice using a chat, the ability for teachers, for us to create our own AI-powered conversation activities with feedback for the students. And so, yeah, this is a little overview of my conversation trainer. And for teachers, departments, or schools, this platform would like put you at the forefront in pedagogical innovation for language teaching and learning, because the activities that you create, the interaction of students with the chatbot, the feedback they get, and what you create will be completely new. And also, if you're into research, technology research, it would be great, and I invite you to also use it for research, because everything's new, and every day I'm learning and finding out new things that I can do with this platform. And then, the fact that you can create your own assignments and activities, you are able to adapt it to your textbook and curriculum. Instead of being given something prefabricated, you will be able to create your own thing based on your curriculum or your students' needs. You can also save time with the feedback and the grading provided by the AI through the platform. And we'll show you some of the preliminary results that we have in terms of how it can support accuracy development and student comments. And I'm happy to report that pretty much like 9 out of 10 recommended the platform, and they've found like a lot of value in what they were doing. So after all this talking, I'm going to show you the instructor area, and feel free to, I don't know, to stop or ask questions, or and ask questions for clarification, or if you want me to go back or show something, just say, Antonio, can you go back, or what is this, what is that? So, well, this is first of all, this is the website, right? MyConversationTrainer.com. And there are two areas: student access and instructor access. So for instructors, they click on this and you can create your account. And at this moment, this point is by invitation only. So I would need to grant you access use it. So I'm going to use my account from College Charleston, and here I have all the sections. And so this from last semester, my classes, Spanish 275. This is Spanish 190 this semester. And so when you first enter, you have two areas, the create edit conversation and the student progress. And I see that people are, okay. Okay, yeah, so yeah, raise your hand if you have a question. Hopefully I can see you. And stop talking, okay?
I'll let you know. No virtual hands right now, Antonio, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect, thanks. So yeah, so two areas, create edit conversations where you can create or edit your conversation, student progress, where you can see the students enrolled in your class. And the way they enroll is a very common procedure, which is through an access code that you share with your students. You give this to them, and then they can access your assignments and activities. For example, here at College Charleston, we created conversations and activities for all the students in the basic language program, for all the courses, starting from lesson 1 to lesson 16 for the four semester track. So for example, this one is introducing yourself and your Spanish class. And we also created a second conversation activity that was more like a role play. This one is, for example, en el restaurante, you're going to talk to a waiter in a restaurant, think about the food that you would like to order and your preferences. And this one, la comida y preferencias, you're going to talk about your eating habits and food preferences. So we created this, and I'm going to show you how it works. So when you click on settings, it's going to start the chat, as if you were a student. So let's take a look at it.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
And this is a practice assignment. The interface is similar to other like chat-based platforms. And this one you can type or you can use your voice and see the transcription. So I'm going to show you how it works. And when I submit an answer, it's gonna give you instant feedback. It's gonna tell you whether your answer is correct, recommend a revision, to say revise, or if it's not clear or doesn't make any sense, we'll say not clear. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy bien. ¿Y tú?
¡Qué bien! Yo estoy bien también. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Okay, I'm going to make an error, a common error in language learners, the famous me llamo es. So I'm going to say me llamo es Antonio. Me llamo es Antonio.
Mucho gusto, Antonio. ¿De dónde eres?
So it's revising this for the students, so the student get instant feedback, immediate feedback. Mucho gusto, Antonio. ¿De dónde eres? The student can also, in this practice mode, they can see the translation. If they don't know what mucho gusto is, they can listen to the question again and to practice their listening and pronunciation.
Mucho gusto, Antonio. ¿De dónde eres?
Okay. And also, when I tell students is also to pay attention to their pronunciation and see their whether it matches their transcription. So de dónde eres, I'm going to say something with an error. Yo estoy de España.
¡Qué interesante! España es hermosa. ¿Qué hora es?
Son las 2:17.
Gracias por decirme. ¿Quién es tu profesora o profesor de español?
Mi profesor es Antonio.
Genial. Antonio es un buen nombre. ¿Cuántos estudiantes hay en la clase de español?
Tengo un gato verde.
No entiendo. ¿Te gusta la clase de español?
So here is, yeah, I answer with something nonsensical, so it said not clear and provided a sample answer for the student, and then the conversation partner said no entiendo, and moved to the next question. ¿Te gusta la clase de español? Me encanta la clase de español.
Eso es genial. La clase de español puede ser muy divertida. Nos vemos pronto. Cuídate.
All right, and here you can see one of the strengths of the platform in the way that we design it, and it's apart from the instant feedback that the student gets, there is comprehensive, detailed feedback for each answer. So as you can see, it's question by question, and it gives the students a grade. So this one estoy bienito with feedback, 100 out of 100. And an overall grade, 81 in this case, and then you can go and say, okay, me llamo es Antonio, what happened here? Okay, there's a grammatical error. The correct way to say this would be me llamo Antonio. The verb es is not needed here. Keep practicing. So encouraging students, yo estoy de España, but the correct phrase should be soy de España. The verb estar is used for temporary state or locations, while ser is used for origin. So imagine, how long it would take us to provide this feedback to students, right? So yeah, this would help us. It would save us some time. This 1, 0 out of 100, tengo un gato verde. So it's unrelated to the question about the number of students in the Spanish class, so on and so forth. And then encouraging students to keep practicing. So the student can review the feedback and then practice again. And one of the things with this platform is that it provides students with unlimited opportunities to practice. They can click on practice again and use the feedback. So one of the method, in terms of the methodology, it's let's say it's a cycle where the student practices using, through meaningful communication, answering using meaning, getting feedback, and then applying that feedback in a cycle, in a circle. So practice again.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
So this is what the student, can do with this platform. And here I'm going to show you what is the, I would say, the most innovative aspect of this platform, and the one that I think, where the magic is. And it's when we click on this, here you have the chat settings, and you can edit and create any AI-powered conversation that you want. So you can use a title, choose an image, tell the students what they're going to do or what the activity is about. In this case, answer questions about yourself and your Spanish class. Mode, there are 2 modes. Practice, the one that we have done, where the student have access to different tools for help, and they can type. And there's also the evaluation mode, which is one where the students can only have access to the audio. So if I click on save.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
So there's only audio. There's no text. And then you record your answer and send it.
Antonio, we have a question in the chat while you have a quick pause there.
Yes.
Perhaps you're going to get to this, so feel free to say, I'm going to get to that later. The question was about seeing or learning about your AI voice options. What different accents are available, for example?
Perfect, great. Yeah, I'm gonna go like one by one, and yes, thanks for the question. But well, so yeah, I will show you the different accents. So yeah, the evaluation, yeah, let's go back to the practice. Yeah, for the evaluation, you can, it's timed, so you can select the time, the duration, and for both, you can assign a due date. And yeah, going back to the question about the voices, we have added so far 6 different voices, male and females, with voices from Latin America and Spain. So the students have access to different, different voices. So if we want to hear try this one, the male one.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? And then this one from Spain,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
or this one from Latin America,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
and then female voices from Latin America.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Another one from Latin America.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
This one sounds more Mexican, I would say. And this one from Spain, but they don't have from Southern Spain. I mean, maybe I should add one from Andalucía.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah, this one's very much from Madrid or Valladolid. Okay, so yeah, this is this is for the AI voices. We have included 2 levels, beginner, intermediate. Difference between the beginner and the intermediate. It has to do with the input that the student get from the AI. So the beginner is telling the AI to use simple, basic vocabulary and grammar for students at the novice level. And the intermediate is telling the AI, okay, use vocabulary, grammar at the intermediate level. And so here's, so we have this, and with the AA role, you can establish the AA role, compañero de clase, or you can say mesero, and turn this into, the AI to be a mesero, un policía or policeman. So, and yeah, so this is, like for your profesor de historia. Yeah, there are like unlimited options for you to create different roles and role plays. Estudiante. And then for the A context, you can be as detailed as you want. And you can simply say en la clase español o en un restaurante. So for example, let's change this and create, por ejemplo, a role camarero o mesero en un restaurante. And here is where you can add the questions that you want the AI to use throughout the conversation. This way, what you're doing is controlling the vocabulary and the grammar that the AI is using. Because if you leave it, by itself, the grammar vocabulary might be maybe too advanced. The students might not be prepared for it. And this way, you can also use the grammar or vocabulary of what they're doing in class. And they get to practice what they're, what you're covering. So en un restaurante, hola, podemos decir bienvenido a nuestro restaurante. ¿Quiere una mesa fuera o dentro? And then, so here you can type the questions or try the generate AI button that we put and see what happens with, let's see, with 3 questions. Okay, so generate these ones. ¿Qué plato del menú te gustaría probar hoy? ¿Prefieres agua con gas o sin gas? ¿Te gustaría ver el menú de postres después de la cena? Y podemos añadir, ¿quiere pagar con tarjeta o en metálico? Por ejemplo, no sé. And then we save it.
Bienvenido a nuestro restaurante. ¿Quiere una mesa fuera o dentro?
And then for if you can add commas.
Bienvenido a nuestro restaurante. ¿Quiere una mesa fuera o dentro?
Ok, muy bien, suena mejor. Vamos a ver otra voz.
Bienvenido a nuestro restaurante. ¿Quiere una mesa fuera o dentro?
Dentro, muy bien. Ok, por aquí, un restaurante en España.
Bienvenido a nuestro restaurante. ¿Quiere una mesa fuera o dentro?
Muy bien, ok, so podemos, and then we can try the conversation.
Bienvenido a nuestro restaurante. ¿Quiere una mesa fuera o dentro?
Quiero una mesa fuera.
Perfecto. Aquí tiene su mesa. ¿Qué plato del menú te gustaría probar hoy?
Okay, and as you can see, it's taking the role. Perfecto, aquí tiene su mesa, it's taking the role of a mesero en un restaurante. Okay, any questions so far about the chat settings?
There's one from the chat that I'm going to ask you. I have one, and then I encourage everyone to ask one if you're interested, since we offered the break or the question break here. Antonio, there was one about the try again feature. So when you're in the chat and you're interacting with the conversation and the AI bot, the student finishes up, they get their feedback and their scores. At the bottom, and they have the option to try again. Are those the number of try agains that the student does? Are those recorded and are the scores saved? So let me just, yeah, confirm. When the student tries again, are the number of tries collected? And then do their sort of official scores change, or can you see any sort of graph? I don't know, graph about that, but that's the question.
Great question. The answer is yes. So as an instructor, let's see. So you go to student progress and you can see, so let's take a look for this one. Do we have, it's empty. This one. So yeah, this one. So when you go there, when you go to student progress, you can see the list of students enrolled in your class, and you can click on complete it if you complete it. And okay, so well, Pedro Mazapan hasn't done anything, and then we have Antonio Pérez-Núñez, and we have demo student. Yeah, this one's my favorite. And you can see what the student did. So name, last name, the assignment that the student completed. If there's a due date, it's included here, and the date when it was completed and the mode, whether it was an evaluation or practice. And if you click on details, you can see what the student did, and it's recorded. And this is also recorded for the student. So the student can go back and review all the assignments.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that detailed view that you just showed, is it available? Say that student did that same exercise 3 times. Can they see all three attempts?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you can see here, demo student did this one, introducing yourself.
Okay.
3 times, and you can see the time. And in terms of research, this is great, and this research that I'm doing, and I will show you. You can see like how most of the time the student, their accuracy, their score is going up, and then sometimes you see the student like getting a 75. You go to details and saying, I don't know, estoy de España, and then the next practice you can see that the student is saying soy de España. And I remember the first time I saw that was like, yes, because it was like the theory and the idea that I had behind, like putting all this together, like you can really see it. So that was really, really exciting. And so this for the practice, and for the evaluation, remember the one that it's only audio. One thing that we added is that instructors, they can listen to the audio. And I don't know if you have used Talk Abroad or one of those platforms. They give you a chunk of audio. Here, what we did it was to like make it available question by question. So, and the answer is transcribed for you. So here's the audio.
Estoy tomando español y matemáticas.
and you have access to the grade. And sometimes maybe the student's pronunciation was off, maybe that there was noise or something. You can always listen to the actual conversation, to the actual answer, click on edit feedback, and maybe you want to, you hear something that the model's not able to transcribe, and you can type the answer here and click on generate feedback again and change the grade. Any questions so far about this?
Well, there are some trending questions, and I'm seeing a similar thread in a couple of different questions, but it's not about this specifically. I mean, it kind of is. So I think
you can go back to the.
Yeah, thank you. That's so cool. So the general thread is, and then I'm gonna list the 3 specific questions about responding to the waiter, for example, the chatbot, in this case, the waiter, in a non-prescribed sort of answer question, meaning what happens if you respond back with a question? Or my particular question was, if the student doesn't even understand that initial question, that initial greeting, or if you say no comprendo, no entiendo, I don't understand right from the beginning, how does that work if the expected response is not what the AI gets?
Yeah, so the AI, it's as I did before. So let me see with one example. So yeah, this one. No, wait. So with this one.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah, so the AI, what the AI is told is to, if you say something and doesn't make any sense, the AI is going to say no entiendo and move to the next question. So the idea was to like make it more structured and ensure that the AI asks all the questions. So it's going to say no entiendo. A sample answer would be provided for the student, and then would ask the next question. So for example, ¿Cómo estás? And then for the practice, if the student doesn't understand the greeting, they can also use this, like hello, how are you? And say okay.
Oh yeah.
They can translate this, and even there's the get hints buttons. So hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy bien, gracias. Estoy feliz hoy. Estoy un poco cansado, pero bien. So with this, the student can have access to new input too, and new ways to say things. So, okay, estoy feliz hoy. So let's say this is a 101 student. So what is this estoy feliz hoy? So I'm happy today. Oh, cool. So I'm going to say this. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy feliz hoy.
Qué bueno, yo estoy feliz también. ¿Cómo te llamas?
And then, yeah, sometimes, you could say, what if the student doesn't, like say, like, I don't understand, or I don't understand what it's saying. So they can always play again.
Qué bueno, yo estoy feliz también. ¿Cómo te llamas?
So this, to provide students with a platform area where they can practice in a stress-free environment and have tools to help them, like get started. And then, as I showed you, there's the evaluation if you want your students, to do the real deal with just, with just audio. Any other questions? Hopefully answered.
Yeah, so please, everyone, feel free to follow up if something isn't clear or if your question isn't answered and you want to dig some more. There is one more question in the chat, and it's asking about the details section. Could the details section, or does the details section also summarize the things that students did well and those things that they need to improve, sort of details in their transcripts or their production?
Not yet. We haven't gone to that part. We wanted to, like, at this point, to keep it more simpler in a way that the students, they go to the view completed and they have the details. Here, for example, one of the things that I've done is telling the students, okay, go back to your practice, and can you, as an activity, like, do you see any trends in the you know, in your errors, or do you feel that it helps you, you know, improve or understand, you know, like certain things? And yeah, it worked very well. But in terms of creating like something fancier in terms of automatic things, you know, to tell the student this was right or wrong, or summarizing things, still they have it here, right, in the grade, like excellent response, estoy bien, it's complete, it's a complete and grammatical correct, and you know, like, yeah, different ways to improve. They can always go back, and it's saved for them.
I think that's really cool too, because if that's something on your product roadmap, neat and great. But I also love the idea of the students kind of doing that themselves, sort of reviewing their own conversation and doing an analysis of what they need to improve on, an analysis of what they did well. So it's kind of them deciding and learning about that and making their own sort of reflection on those points as well. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, threats? All right, so yeah, so I think that's all for the instructor area. As you can see, we try to make it like sort of minimalist with two icons, the create the conversation, the student progress. Here you can change the name of the Filomena.
Sorry,
Chris?
there was a question in the chat. What happens if the student asks the waiter, in this case, a question instead of answering a declarative sentence?
That's a great question, and that was part of my hundreds of hours of prompt engineering. So yeah, we can it would say something back. So if it's if it makes sense. Por ejemplo, sometimes I include like, do you have a question for me? ¿Tienes una pregunta para mí? And then the AI would answer back. So, but we can say, talk about my classes. Let's try this one.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien. ¿Y tú? O por ejemplo, vamos a decir otra cosa. He tenido días mejores.
Siento que no estés bien. ¿Qué estudias?
Estudio español. ¿Y tú? So here is asking a question back.
Yo también estudio español. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en España. You can say too, or maybe you can type and say, vivo en España. ¿Y tú dónde vives? And then send it.
Vivo en otro lugar, pero me encantaría conocer España. Hasta luego, fue un placer hablar contigo.
Okay, and then, so yeah, here you have the practice again. Here the compañero said, vivo en otro lugar. If you want to make it very specific, you can even go to the AI context and tell the AI, eres un estudiante de intercambio de Colombia. And make it more nuanced. Colombia, y te llamas Camilo. Okay. And then if you ask about his name, the AI will say Camilo. Here, okay. ¿Cómo te llamas? So yeah, the idea was to, with this like chat setting part, like give teachers, instructors, even researchers the possibility to like create whatever they want and be in control of the AI instead of like getting, as I mentioned before, something prefabricated. Okay, this is what this for you. So here you have the control and you can, like create your own thing, be creative. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Okay, safe.
Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Hola, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Antonio. ¿Y tú?
Soy Camilo. ¿Qué estudias? Soy
So one thing that I learned, because this is so new, is that the more specific the AI context, the more, the more the student can get out of it, or the more specific the activity. You can even say in the AI context, eres un estudiante, te llamas Camilo, usa las palabras arepa y, no sé, arepa y qué chimba.
Hola, ¿cómo te llamas?
Soy Antonio, ¿y tú?
Soy Camilo, un estudiante de intercambio de Colombia. Me encanta la arepa, qué chimba. ¿Dónde vives?
So yeah, so it's usa las palabras arepa y que chimba. So it's using it, and then you can even be more specific. Usa las palabras arepa y que chimba in different sentences, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the idea here is that you try things like context, questions, roles, click on save, and then test the conversation to see how it goes. All right, any questions?
Pretty cool. Well, people are itching to ask about how they can try it themselves. And then we have another question after that, but how would you respond to that?
Yes, so that's right here. So if you want to use my conversation trainer in your classes, contact me to request a free trial. So I'll be, if it's for one class, I'll be happy, to give you free access to you. Well, I mean, like teachers have free access, but for your students. For one section, so you can play around and use it. So please email me at Antonio@MyConversationTrainer.com. Tell me where you teach, a little bit of information to know, who you are, and where you teach, the course where you would like to use it, and how many students you would have. And I would love, to like give more access to more students, but obviously, like the use of the AI and everything costs money. And at the same time, we try to, for this, this is like the beginning of my conversation trainer. So we wanted to provide access through, with a very affordable price of just $15 per student for an entire semester, which is the cost of one Talk Abroad conversation, for example, or one, not even a coffee and a bagel. But if you want to use it in your classes and you're interested, I would be happy, to like give access to you and your students. I could give you an access code for your group, and then they can use it. Does it
Thank
answer?
you. Yeah, that's so helpful. And so generous of you to provide some trial access. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
A couple of other questions. Some folks
sorry.
are wondering, and please, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Are these slides available for public viewing? Are you able to share them? Or are they more kind of private, internal for the time?
No, this, if you want, I can share it totally. Like I
Okay.
can, you can all email me, and I can share it with you.
Or you could share it with me, and then I can include it in the follow-up with the event recording, so then everybody can have it there. Okay.
Yes.
I was wondering too, if you might quickly talk about, if you're an instructor and you want to create these sort of curriculum modules, just kind of briefly what that would look like in terms of time or getting started with those units that you showed at the beginning, the different themes and stuff.
Great question. If it's for, let's say, someone, I'm gonna go back and show you like the big one, right? This one for College Charleston.
Okay.
So literally, once you have the questions, it takes no time.
Hola, me llamo María.
Because it's
¿Cómo te
just
llamas?
filling out this and copy pasting the questions. So if, let's say, for one chapter, you have a textbook, and then you say, okay, I want to create a AI-powered conversation for my students to practice, get feedback with these questions. 5. Literally takes, I don't know, like 3 minutes to create this. And if it's something, like bigger, for, let's say, a department or program, we could help create the whole thing for the department.
Thank you. This is actually the screen I was thinking about. So from the instructor setup point of view, is there like it's that gray new button. So if you click on that gray new.
Yeah. So
okay,
yeah.
there we go. Yeah. So you just click add and start going.
Lesson 17.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
You're
I haven't
going
seen
to
that
see
before.
how long it takes. Por ejemplo, el trabajo y planes futuros. Ok, vamos a llamar esto las vacaciones. Create, and then there's new. You click on this guy here, and then you go to the settings. And this is the default conversation.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Awesome.
Go here and then say the title. Hablando sobre mis planes para las. Not too long. Hablando de las vacaciones. Okay, and then we have like several images. Let's see. For this guy, boy here. Vas a hablar sobre tus planes para las vacaciones. And you can even say, usa el vocabulario de la página 10 del libro. Paginación, por ejemplo, del libro. And then I want it to be practiced. The due date is going to be next week. AI voice, let's see this one.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Okay, I like the vibe. Okay, and then levels, so this for third semester, fourth semester, so intermediate is good. And then hablando de vacaciones, por ejemplo, a role, una abuelita. No, you're talking to abuelita. Context, conversación con tu abuelita sobre las vacaciones de verano. Bueno, es una abuelita, un abuelito. Vamos a llamarlo abuelita. Con tu abuelito sobre las vacaciones de verano. And then we can even use this abuelito. Very tender. Okay, con tu abuelito sobre las vacaciones de verano. Hola, mijo. ¿Qué vas a hacer para las vacaciones? ¿Vas a viajar solo o con amigos? ¿Vas a viajar solo con amigos? ¿Tienes suficiente dinero? ¿Y puedo ir contigo? And then click on save and it's right there.
Hola, mijo, ¿qué vas a hacer para las vacaciones?
Okay, and then you can try the conversation.
Awesome.
And if it works very well, then you can share it with your students.
Awesome. Thank you for showing that. That's really helpful. There's a question in the chat from Mike about the underlying GPT that you're using. Is it OpenAI, or if you're able to share your own?
Yeah, it's connected through OpenAI. That's why, like the cost of it. We try to make it very affordable, but still, you have to like give money to OpenAI.
Yeah, absolutely. Anton?
Yeah, I think you answered this question, but I was wondering, for instance, I'm just thinking like my students, if their pronunciation is more English-like, a little heavy to understand in Spanish, how is the reaction of the AI? Is the AI more flexible than us as instructors? Or is
Great question. Yeah, very good question. So there are two ways. One is if they're doing the practice, and what I tell students is like, when you're doing this, pay attention to the transcription. Because when I was designing this with the software engineers, like at first, and I think you can see in other platforms, you say something and then all of a sudden you see the text. Here I wanted to like go, word by word. So the student is getting feedback, from what they're saying. So if they're saying "hago" and it's not being transcribed properly, they have to try. And once they do this, and even in the first semester classes, when it's very simple and they're practicing what they're doing in class, they do well. And also related to that, for the evaluation, it's only audio, right? And then the teacher gets access to the audio, and the audio is transcribed, right? So we go here. So what happens with heavy accents? The transcriber that we are using is very, very good, but it's not perfect. So sometimes you might need to, if you want to listen and say, oh, the student is trying to say "I" because the students say "hey, dos personas," and then the transcription might say something else. But at the same time, you can tell the student, look, so this transcribing this as not that "I" because you're not saying "I." It's me, the teacher with a trained ear for non-native speech, who's giving you like extra credit, but you're not like pronouncing properly. But overall, it's very good at transcribing what the students do.
Wonderful. So that's another area of assistance from the AI. Not only, I guess, language structure and sentence completion, but also pronunciation feedback through the transcription, right?
Yeah, correct. And
That was going to be my next question. When you present this, what I know it's conversational, but what skills besides the speaking part are they practicing? And you sort of already answered my question, but I don't know if you want to add something else.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I have data from the students, like asking them about the extent to whether the work that they did, the practice on MyConversationTrainer, whether their perception, whether they helped with their speaking, listening, writing, and reading. At the end of the day, it depends on your focus. If you tell students, okay, complete these activities focusing on speaking, try to practice your speaking. So at the end of the day, they're going to say, it helped with my speaking. But the interesting thing is that with the focus on speaking, they were saying it helped with my reading because I could see what was being transcribed, or I could see what the AI said back.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and this is when hopefully if I have time, I guess not until spring break, I have like really cool data that I want to like put together in 1 or 2 articles to submit for potential publication, because all this is very, very novel, and and it's very exciting to be able to share all this with you now, for example.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
So yeah, I have some data also for the research lovers. I looked at uptake, and this is like some like small data. So with first semester and first semester students, do I have like more data? So so to give you an some like a rough idea of like the time saving and the how powerful this thing is. So for the group, it was a group of 10 students. So it gave them just in one practice, one activity. So 70 cases of feedback, 7.5 corrections, and of which there were 3.8 instances of uptake of the student using that feedback and in subsequent practice. So for example, here, and this from a real student, qué bien, ¿te gusta ir de compras? Me gusta comprar la ropa. And then good for attempts to form a sentence. The correct structure would be me gusta comprar la ropa, because the verb gustar should be followed by the infinitive form of the verb. Keep practicing. And then the student, subsequently in practice 2, the second time that it, did it, me gusta comprar la ropa. And then in the evaluation, the one with just audio, the student continued using the correct form. So it was, to me, you know, as a person, you know, in second language acquisition, actually, my PhD is in corrective feedback in writing, like seeing instances of uptake when I was working my dissertation. It was so difficult to find that, and with this is just like popcorn, palomitas, or crispetas.
That's so true. That's awesome. This is
Yeah.
very innovative and so many cool things going on. We can do so much with it, teaching, learning, research. We probably, if you have a quick answer, we probably have time for one more. Otherwise, is it okay if people send you an email with follow-up questions? Because there are a couple more questions in the chat, but just to be respectful of everyone's time.
Oh yeah.
About multilingual or bilingual interactions in chat, can you write the prompts in English but tell the interaction to be in Spanish?
Actually, yeah, it works. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know whether it would work, but it does. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a fast answer. What about forcing changes in intonation, for example, in questions?
What does it mean?
Mike, could you expand on that a little bit? But maybe like if you ask a question and then raise your intonation at the end.
Know what I mean?
Like,
yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. Hi, Mike.
Yeah. Hey there. Sorry. Know what I mean was intended to be an example of that.
yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There yet?
Okay, so it depends. So the way it works, like intonation is and I think I had a conversation about this with Lillian, right? I think you asked me about, how does it work with intonation? Because intonation is the most difficult part. So what we did was to sort of, it's pretty much very like the transcriber can sort of understand like get the intonation, but it's not that nuanced. That's not really like possible yet with this type of, with the technology that we have. However, as you can see, what we trained, with the prompts that we used and the way that we trained the AI is to understand or know when what the student says or the user says is a question or not. So it's telling the AI, okay, like pay attention whether it's a question or not, even if there's no question mark. I don't know if that answers your question of intonation.
Thanks for providing some context. It is 12, so I would like to go ahead and wrap this up, but I'll send a follow-up to everybody who registered. It was super interesting. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much, Antonio. This has been really thought-provoking, interesting, exciting. I definitely want to see more about where it goes. Great work as well, and I love the research aspect. And we have some things in the chat. So thanks everybody for coming and for posing your questions. Again, I'll send a follow-up with the recording, and then if Antonio would like to share his slides, I'll include that as well. So many people are going to contactarte, Antonio.
Awesome. Yeah, that's thank you all, for being here, asking, like all your questions, and I look forward, to be in touch with y'all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we are planning to do most likely one more virtual event before the conference, so stay tuned for the AI Calico SIG. So yes, thank you everybody, and take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.